Hey, everybody, welcome to this week's episode of the Pit Therapy Podcast. I'm Kyle and I'm joined with Trevor, and we have a special guest, Alex Longoria, right?
Longoria, what's going on,
All right.
everybody?
Thank you. Thank you for joining, man. We're pumped to talk to you.
Hell
You
yeah.
are related to Eva?
I'm not. I'm not. We're from the same area, but no relation, as far as I
Oh,
know.
for real?
Yeah. From San Antonio. Apparently, she lives up here too, or lived up here when she was dating a Spur.
Oh, that's
Ah,
right. She was Mono Ginobili, wasn't it?
No, Tony Parker.
Tony Parker wasn't Ginobili.
Yeah.
It was Tony Parker.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
right. And then Tony Parker cheated on her because he's an
Yeah.
idiot. Yeah. Yeah, I remember that. So, well, cool. Thank you for jumping on.
Absolutely.
We met you when you came up and were filling in for Die Young playing bass,
Yep.
and that was awesome. Like we had a great time with you guys. And then I was going through just like some old Texas bands like had discovered for me, right, that were new to me, and I
Mhm.
posted some stuff. And then you messaged me and you're like, "Dude, I played in those," and I was
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
"That's incredible. We got to get you on." So let's start there, man. Like what bands do you currently play in or projects? Because I know you're doing like Midnight Eyes and stuff, but like
Yeah.
what projects, what bands are you playing in? And then we can kind of talk about what bands you've been in as well.
Yeah, totally. So, as of recently, I mean, I was a member of the band Realms of Death. I did exit that band just because I run a small business here and, wanted to focus on that. But their bass player is killer. I've been filling in with bands like Liberty and Justice and Die Young, on bass, which has been really cool. I filled in last year with Bullshit Detector, but my primary bands have been Full Contact from Laredo, Texas, Flawless Victory from Laredo, Texas, the Red Alert from Laredo, and I have my own solo project, Midnight Eyes. And in all of that, um, I'm born and raised from Laredo. I played in a ton of bands down there, and as I grew up in the scene, I started getting offers to fill in bands. At the time, it was like Five Families and Flawless Victory as well. And then I was asked to play in like the Golden Age for a little bit. A couple other groups here in San Antonio. I started my own band, Blackhand, for a while, as well as being everybody's favorite fill-in. So yeah, it's a little bit about me.
That's
so are you
incredible.
currently in Laredo then?
No, I live in San Antonio, Texas, but
Okay,
I'm born
that's
and
what I
raised
thought.
in Laredo, and I moved up here to San Antonio like 15 years ago. Actually, like I did one tour with the Golden Age, and then I came back to Laredo, and I had no job, and so I moved up here because San Antonio, there's a big plethora of resources, and I just kind of made my roots there. So or here, yeah,
Well, sick.
yeah.
So, I mean, listen, you just named off like 15 different bands,
I
and
know.
the variety of style that you've
Yeah.
been in has been truly impressive. Because I mean, like we saw you with Die Young, right? Fast, aggressive, hardcore. Midnight
Yeah.
Eyes, kind of that goth punk. Like it's really dope. And then we've heard stuff almost like what's As I Dose Myself, like rock
Oh,
pop punk style,
yeah, I
you
sang it
know?
as I dosed myself. Yeah, I call it punk rock
Yeah.
trick, because I'm very influenced by like old rock and roll shit. So yeah,
Yeah.
I
So I mean,
sang
like
that.
you're all over the place, right? So like talk to us about kind of your background because we heard you got hooked up with the guys in Die Young because at one point you filled in for Will to Live on
Yeah,
like a almost like a joke, like, hey, if you guys need a bass player, like I'll learn it. And then you made it
yeah,
happen kind of thing. So like
yeah.
what are your roots?
So my roots, as I blabbed earlier, from Laredo, Texas. But man, I've always loved entertaining and music and rock and roll and all that crazy stuff. I grew up in a house of music. Man, I used to wish I was fucking guys like Steven Tyler and Kiss, of course, and it was a big obsession for me coming up. And then I found punk rock, and that was like all I wanted to do. Get a guitar and fucking be snotty and take over the world. Shoot, man, and then I was no good at guitar for a little bit. Like I was a teenager, I put it away for like a summer, and then I was like, oh, I'm gonna pick it back up. But instead, I'm gonna change things up, buy a bass. I've always been interested in bass, and that just opened this whole world up for me where I just saw endless, no limits. I learned every single song that I've ever loved. Metallica, as well as Bane, as well as like Nonis and Victim, and my favorite Kiss songs, and I just obsessed with it. Everything. I realized that there are no rules when it comes to music, and now that I'm older, as an older musician, yeah, there's no fucking rules. I'm influenced by everything,
Yeah.
and yeah, I just want to entertain, kick ass, you know, play loud amps, and have a good time. So
We we like absolutely love hearing that
yeah,
because you know
it's
how it is
hard to
and
explain
like
everything.
yeah, well and like especially I don't know if it's like nowadays, but like is it when we were growing up, it was like you were either metal or you were punk, right? There was like
Yeah,
not a lot of crossover. They had mixed bill shows, but they always either got shut down or whatever because people were
yeah,
fighting in them, and it sucked. But like, it's cool to hear that there are people that are like, I listen to all of it, because me and Trevor are that way. Like, I grew up on like
yeah,
California punk, Rancids, Tiger Army, all that crap, and then I got into like deathcore, and then I got into hardcore, and then all this other
totally.
stuff. So it's cool to hear that like there's people that can appreciate the whole spectrum of music.
Dude, it's all expression, and it's all a beautiful thing. As an art form, music to me clearly touched my soul. But growing up, I was also my family's into dance. My sisters did ballet, my mom did ballet growing up, so the arts were
Cool.
real like huge in our world. So yeah, so going back to it, I mean, when I found hardcore and punk rock, and the hardcore scene there in Laredo, that kind of changed my life too. Kind of I saw more of that limitlessness
Yeah.
that I mentioned. So that's when I started
So
filling in for bands. So it's cool.
yeah, no, I mean, that's legit. Is it? Because I don't know like a ton. I'm still learning about like the Texas scene,
Yeah.
and like when we talked to Rob, he was like, "Well, I grew up in Florida, and there's a big death metal scene there, so you kind of get where he came from." But does Laredo have its own pocket of influences? Was it more punk
Yeah.
influenced, and that's kind of how you guys got into it, or
Well, dude, honestly, Laredo is a metal town. Before I got into subculture and the music scene and all that good stuff, by just being in that music scene later in life and having a bunch of friends, knowing that it's a heavy metal town. But me coming up, all the kids my age were going to punk rock shows and Ozfest every summer. So it was in your face all the time, in the early 2000s. Stores like Hot Topic, Laredo got a Hot Topic, which we've never had a subculture store like that. Very taboo for a small town.
yeah,
But it opened up, your opportunity to get CDs and T-shirts from other bands and go down that rabbit hole. When I started going to shows, there was already an established scene that all branched from the metal scene. They also had a punk rock scene at the time, like Minor Threat, Discord stuff. Um, and yeah, so with that, when I started going to shows, it was mixed bills. You would see like a death metal band, you'd see a hardcore band, thrash metal. It was all just a big hodgepodge of different styles before everybody started fighting and all the classic stuff that.
yeah.
So what years was this when you first got introduced to it?
Man, when I
What was
first
kind of
started
that
going to
time frame?
shows, yeah, 2003 was when I first started going to
Okay.
shows. So
Okay. So who were some of the bands coming through? I mean, I'm assuming, listen, this is a big assumption, right? But
yeah,
Laredo, a border town, you got San Antonio just up the road and stuff like that. You
yeah,
probably didn't get all the really big tours, right? So
nope.
was it primarily local stuff or what were the bands coming through at that time?
Yeah, I mean, the metal promoters would sometimes book like big bands. There's a whole documentary coming out about it called Into the Void. But we've booked
Oh, sick.
bands like Cataclysm and shoot Ringworm and crazy bands like that,
Nice.
back in the day. But when I was coming up, it was more local acts from the city and then from the region. We would get San Antonio, Austin, Dallas, all those hot spots. And then tours coming through. The biggest one we got was like Comeback Kid. We got Comeback Kid and Scars of Tomorrow, which was like a metalcore band.
Oh, sick.
That was
Yeah.
insane. And that was when Turn It Around had just come out. There was a lot of hype for that record. And it opened a door up for Laredo where we started getting all those face down record bands. Sunny Beach and I don't know, Figure Four we got
Mm,
down there and a
nice.
ton of them. So, really opened that up. And yeah, we've from that show, from that Comeback Kid show, that took Laredo a little bit more serious. we got to book bands like Have Heart later on, like in 2006, 2005. That
nice.
was cool. Verse, cool hardcore bands like that. So
Did bands like you say have heart?
yeah,
Obviously from Boston. Is it weird for those bands to come down to a place like Laredo? Do they like get out and they're just like, where the
yeah,
hell am I?
yeah. That's pretty much it. That's kind of how it is because it's out. I don't know if you guys been, or your listeners, but if anybody's been there, it's a 15-minute drive to one side to the other side of the town. So there's not much, and yeah, people are confused, especially that side of town where our venue is. It is the most electric side of Laredo, at least for that time, if you know what I mean. A lot of activity going on there.
Yeah. Yeah.
Sick. So you
Yeah.
grew up a lot of like punk, hardcore, but you also talked about like classic metal stuff. Like
Yeah.
I was just flipping through TikTok. Like, first of all, rest in peace, Ozzy, right?
Rest in peace,
Like
Ozzy.
that was too bad. But I was watching a ton of clips from his final show. That
Oh,
dude
dude,
still
yeah.
had pipes.
Yeah.
Man, I
It
thought you
was
did great.
insane.
Yeah. Man, I thought you did great. I love that whole performance, man. The whole weekend, like me and my girl went to Dallas. And I was just like obsessed with watching the little clips and stuff as much as I could. It was such a monumental moment for heavy metal and everything branched from there. So rest in peace, Ozzy. I mean, damn, I'm still in shock. I told
For real.
I don't know. It hasn't hit me yet, but I also like I'm not listening to Mama I'm Coming Home, anytime soon.
I mean, like, here's the thing: is it was so weird because he did sound so good,
Yeah,
and I feel like the people who you see who are like they die a couple of weeks after their final performance. Like I'm thinking of like Phil Collins. I remember Phil Collins' final one, and it was just like he didn't sound that great. But it is crazy that like some of these older generations are still doing it. You mentioned Steven Tyler, you have
yeah,
Gene Simmons who is still doing it.
yeah.
Like it is
Wait,
crazy.
hold on a second. Phil Collins is dead?
Is he dead? I
Yeah.
mean, he can't perform anymore. I shouldn't
No, he
say
can't
he's dead.
perform. He did.
Oh,
He did retire. Yeah,
yeah.
he did retire. I was
But
like,
Okay,
like,
okay.
did he?
I was
I
like,
should
wait,
have.
You know what?
I'm gonna
I should
say
have said dead.
Did
But
you guys
final
see Steven
performances.
Tyler? Did you guys see Steven Tyler at that Ozzy thing, doing the Led Zeppelin covers?
yeah.
Man,
He
Yeah,
sounded
that was older than
insane.
Ozzy, and man, he's fucking killing it.
Yeah.
it
Man,
is
I
insane.
love me some Aerosmith. I know I'll get some heat about that, but I love that band.
Hey, I mean, you're talking to a couple guys that grew up on the classics. Like I've seen Jethro Tull live.
Oh, hell yeah.
I've seen Rush. I've seen a bunch of oldies. I saw Police. And
Sick.
Sting and stuff. So like I've seen. I love that stuff.
Yeah.
So absolutely.
Heck yeah. Heck
So
Ozzy. Hold on though.
yeah,
Ozzy, I think did assisted suicide.
no.
That's what I
why
read.
really?
Yeah. No, I'm dead
Whoa.
serious. That's what I read is that he went to Switzerland and did like
He
assisted
just
suicide. You
was
can look
like,
it up.
I'm done with this. Damn,
Yeah.
dude. Wild.
So
I
Yo,
mean,
do you
I
remember
thought he
like
was just super hopped up through the performance, and they just kind of pulled the cord on the rest of it. So
I mean,
that's
it's
crazy,
kind of what he
dude.
did, but
Yeah. Well, you know what? He knew he wanted to go out that way. So, God bless him. What an inspiration,
yeah,
dude. At least he played by his own rules to the last fucking second. So
right.
that's cool.
yeah.
No, for sure. So, oh, sorry, Trevor. Go ahead.
No, yeah.
Well, the whole reason I bring up the oldies, the classics, and stuff like that is I was just on a business trip and going out, I was watching the Elton John movie. And then when I got there, like I was watching like Whiplash, that drummer movie and stuff like that.
Oh,
Like
hell
I
yeah.
am all in to like music based movies. You mentioned like you're really into theatrics and stuff like that. Like, do you get into those? Do you get into the biographies, the
Dude, I'm
whatever they're called?
obsessed. I'm obsessed. I'm obsessed with all the biographies, all the live shows, all the stuff, musicals. I love musicals like Repo Man and Rocky Horror, of course, and stuff, rock and
Yeah,
roll
Yeah.
related. I'm so into that
yeah.
shit, dude. I am obsessed. Yeah, I'm a hoarder about it too. So like I got old VHS tapes of like
Oh,
the
sick.
making of Back in Black or whatever the fuck. So yeah, I'm such a sucker.
So
I live for it.
Trevor's favorite is High School Musical. So
listen, I've got little girls in my house. Like, yeah, I watch a lot of High School Musical. Like, let's just be honest, it happens. So, but let me ask you, out of the recent ones, So
Yeah.
you got like Bohemian Rhapsody, you have Rocket Man, you have the Bob Dylan one. What's one of your
Uh-huh.
current favorites that has come out?
Oh, dude, the Bohemian Rhapsody was a tearjerker, dude. I love that one. But to be honest, and I didn't finish it, but I was getting a kick out of the Elton John movie. Just
Yeah.
because I love that they turn like all the little stuff going on in his life, it revolving a musical, right? Like a badass song around that time. Now, I didn't get to finish the movie. Um, I'll admit
I
to
know.
that.
I'm like
I
I'm
enjoyed
30
what
minutes
I
from the
saw
end
of it.
too. Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah. Shit, man, but there's a lot of good ones like that. Damn.
Trying to think. They did the Elvis one just recently came
Mhm.
out.
I'm
Drake.
Like those are like the
Yeah,
most
Velvet was
recents.
dark, and I loved it a lot too. The grittiness of it and seeing that kind of personality. If we didn't have the internet, if the world wasn't so small right now, we would still look at Elvis like this king, this mythical person, right?
Yeah, it
Um,
does shine a lot of light on him that
yeah, absolutely.
wasn't
Yeah.
wasn't very
Wasn't a positive
mainstream.
light. Yeah.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
I mean, and like the one that like started all this was probably Walk the Line, right? Was that
Oh
like
yeah.
the first like that was like the first theatrical version of a story, right? Or can you guys think
Yeah,
of a
like
different one?
there had been other ones, I'm sure, dude, but like, I mean, and maybe they were all fiction, but
Right, right. I can
was
think of
like
like
that good?
fictional ones.
Yeah, like a Star is Born or whatever. But yeah, you might be right on that.
Spinal Tap.
Spinal Tap, yeah.
We're like talking about
Definitely.
serious ones and you drop Spinal Tap.
Dude, Walk the Line was so good. But
Yeah.
my only thing about Walk the Line, I wish they would have talked more about like the Highwayman and his relationship with like
Mhm.
those kind of cats too, like Merle Haggard,
Waylon
Willie
Jennings and
Nelson,
yeah.
Waylon Jennings, yeah. Chris
Isn't it
Christopher.
wild though? Like we know there's so much more to these guys' lives. There's just so much going on and they've got to fit it into a 2-hour movie.
Yeah,
Like they could do like a 10-part documentary theatrical version of this and stuff and it would be captivating throughout the whole thing. Like just the rock star lifestyle is wild.
it's crazy, how these characters just create this medium that we're just obsessed with. You and I would not be talking here if we weren't obsessed with somebody's crazy creation,
Yeah.
So it is a beautiful thing. It is a beautiful thing.
So let's talk about the rock star lifestyle because you've lived it and we have not.
Yeah.
What is what is the most rock star lifestyle thing that's happened to you? Because you played some
Uh,
like big shows, you've done the touring, like you've done some cool stuff.
yeah, man, I don't know. I don't know. Probably the most rock star thing, and it's not really that rock star, but it was something I never get to do because on tour, you usually are on a tight schedule. You got a long drive, or you got to get to a venue at a certain time. But recently, like in May, I went to Canada. I went to Montreal with Liberty and Justice. They invited me out to fill in a spot for them. And shoot, man, it was the first time I got to like fly into a place, just have like a ride pick me up, take me to my hotel. I check in, and then I just get to hang around the city like for 2 days. No responsibilities, nothing. I just get to hang out, relax, and then go play the show, and then go back to hanging out. So that to me was a treat. If I had felt any, I felt very successful that night, even though it's another day at the office.
Yeah.
Oh,
So
that's
it
way
was cool.
cool.
Just
Was
like
it
little
just like
things.
was it local shows or was it like a fest up there?
We played a fest, Montreal Oi Fest. I forgot what number it was, but there was a ton of cool
Oh,
bands
sick.
there, and a ton of as I've been filling in gigs with them, I get to meet people in their circle, and because I went on tour with them in Europe too, I got to meet some friends from Europe, some friends from other cities, some friends from Texas who all flew out to Canada to see them. So it was a good little family reunion. It was sick.
Oh man.
Liberty, they're super good.
They're
I
awesome.
think Liberty is super cool. So
Man,
Yeah,
you
dude,
just
they're
mentioned
good
Oi.
also. Yeah,
Oi is like it's starting to make a little bit of a comeback. Like, I mean, Oi adjacent, you have Haywire or whatever, and those shows are
yeah.
going off right now.
Man, no kidding, man. And that tour's like endless. That tour's like
yeah.
every city in America. It's so cool. It's so cool to see that resurgence, and there's so many cool
Mhm.
bands coming out. But I'm always gonna rep my boys. Concrete Elite, Bullshit Detector, and Liberty and Justice. Um, you know, but yeah, I'm really stoked and to see where that music genre is gonna keep going because people are changing up the genre. It's not just the classic,
Yeah.
bruiser style kind of thing. People are
Right.
adding in other elements. So it's super cool to see.
That's
Yeah,
cool. Is there
100%.
like is that kind of stuff received well in Texas? Because again, when you think Texas, you don't really think of like oi skinhead type
Yeah.
punk.
Well, man, there's a big culture. Um, there's a big culture of that subculture here in Texas, and there's a ton of cool bands. So yeah, it's super well received. And
Cool.
what's cool is like bands like for example, Liberty and Justice is playing next week with Bitter End. Bitter End's doing an anniversary show.
Yeah.
But man, it's cool that they're meshing those two worlds, like the heavy hardcore,
Mhm.
with the more like punk rock, street rock side of Liberty and Justice. So it's so sick. It's so sick that
Oh,
the meshing of everything, just like we talked about earlier.
yeah. It's how it should be.
Yeah.
I mean, we're all cut from the same cloth, you
Yeah,
know?
exactly.
It
We're
should be
all
like
mourning
that.
Ozzy
So
the same, right?
exactly.
Yeah,
Exactly.
Exactly.
yeah.
So okay, how did you like when did you get to a point where you're like, all right, I want to play in a band? And like how did you progress through like your first bands and stuff?
Oh yeah, hell yeah. So man, I was 13. I told you guys I just want to be a fucking rock star my whole life. So I started a little band with my friends, and we would cover like Deftones and Nirvana, and we were called Raging Addiction, right? Because we liked Rage Against the Machine and Jane's Addiction. Anyways, that's how I started, playing in bands, and we played one house party, and then around that time I gave up music. But then I guess like this is like the thing in my whole career. A band needed like a bass player, and I just got in a bass. So I was like, "Oh, I'll learn your songs." And then that changed into me playing in that band to me now being this little band whore for everybody.
It's
But no,
not no,
but that's
seriously
Listen,
though,
that's
man.
really
because
where
like
it started from, man. Just that was my first band, and then when I got into the hardcore scene, I got that opportunity to play bass in a band called Take Your Shot, and that took me like everywhere. I got to meet people from San Antonio. I was like 17 at the time. I'm 37 now, so that was 20 years ago. Got to meet people from San Antonio that I'm still friends with. Got to go on my first tour. Got to play in Mexico. Got to do all this crazy shit when I was a teenager in high school, and I just grew addicted, and I still kept it up in my 20s and now late 30s.
was there was there like a moment, I guess, in high school or, I guess in your 20s or whatever where you're like, nah, like I want to this is what I want to do like cuz I know you say like
Yeah.
we all got passions and stuff, like if I could play in a band, like I'm totally playing a band, but I don't know that I could necessarily just like drop everything and be like I'm going to be a band guy. Like when did you get to a point where you're like, all right, I want to be serious about this. I want to tour, I want to do it all.
Man, to be honest with you, I'm not serious about it in that aspect, I am,
Yeah.
but as much times as I have tried to take the leap of faith to go into music, um, I do come back into normal life because I'm successful at it. I run a business, and I get passionate about learning and going to school and stuff like that. So as much as I've always wanted to dream about being a rock star, I've also aspired to be stuff like an entrepreneur, or
Sure.
I also want to be an attorney for a little bit. So, stuff like that have kind of changed my path, but this is the one truest thing. Music is the one truest thing that I've kept with me my whole life. So I get to do a lot of cool shit, and I get to do a lot of cool stuff while juggling my normal life.
Yeah.
But I haven't truly dedicated myself to taking that leap of faith. And right now that I am at the point I am right now, being a fill-in for everybody, I can kind of say like, if
Mhm.
money wasn't an option, and if I was doing this 10 years earlier, like the same everything, yeah, I'd probably go all in. But I got clients to take care of, and stuff like that. So
No, I mean, okay, honestly, like you kind of have the best setup, right? Because
yeah,
like,
yeah,
yeah, you just get to do what you want, and then you get to go fill in for all these awesome bands and play cool shows, and it's
yeah.
probably
So
music that you like too. So like, it's
yeah,
fun for you.
shaping that has been that's really what I want to do. I love the fact that I hope I have this great rep with my friends, that they invite me out to play in their badass bands. but I can still take care of stuff at home. So right now, that's the biggest gift for me. Such a
Yeah,
privilege. So it is cool, but it did take a lot of sacrifice and heartache and weaving and bobbing. So
sure.
it's cool.
So who's put the hardest pressure on you to be like, dude, like we're just going, like get in the
Um,
van, we're going.
if I was ever gonna do it in my whole life, it was gonna be with Realms of Death. So Realms of Death, after we recorded the Slaughter album, um, we were so inspired to just take over the world, and I felt it. I got and I started thinking back about that band. These are guys I've known my whole life. My best friends. If I was ever gonna do it, it was gonna be then. But sometimes
Yeah.
They couldn't
sometimes you
tug a
don't
little
hook a
hard.
right, you hook a left. So
Dude, Rome's is sick. Rome's is
Elf is
awesome.
fucking sick,
And
dude. They're going on tour. I hope you guys see them next week. They're
I
gonna
get to see him Tuesday.
hell yeah,
I'm
hell yeah,
pumped. I'm super pumped. So,
hell yeah, my boys.
um, was there a band that you played in? Because like, did you seriously have named like some of the best bands, if not like if you made a list of like the top 15 or top 20 Texas bands, like it seems like you played for most of them, right?
I've had a
Is
hand in one or two.
yeah, is there a band though that you like played with that you don't feel like gets the flowers they deserved, or maybe could have made it bigger, but did it? Not necessarily like that you were playing with them, but just
Yeah,
in general. Because I think of bands like Full Contact
yeah,
and even the Golden Age, and it's just like, holy cow, that's so good. And we
yeah.
had no idea. Like I had no idea those bands existed. You know?
Yeah, 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 totally. Shit, man. To be honest, like, yeah, two come to mind. You mentioned Full Contact. Yeah, I wish Full Contact got their flowers a little bit more. That album that they released is such a killer. They're writing a new album now, which is badass too. But at the time that album came out, there wasn't streaming services, and
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, the band had kind of calmed down on their touring. But everybody knows them and everybody loves them, but nobody checked out the album till it was available on streaming like 8 years later. So, that sucks. I wish, and every time I play a show with Full Contact, people are like, dude, I didn't know those songs are that heavy or whatever. Or they'll go back to listen to that record, Tactics, which I had nothing to do with it, by the way.
Yeah.
I'm just a live hired gun guy. But, yeah, I wish that they got their flowers. And then the band I wish that really that was a part of that got more attention was As I Dose Myself. That was also like a super fun passion project. To be honest with you, I'd given up on music uh, at that point. COVID had come. I had just gotten my real estate license to start my business, and I didn't know where I was coming and going. And these guys wanted to jam. I had known them for a while, so I said yes, and it changed my whole shit. Um, and yeah, I always wanted to pack in as much energy as I could with that band. And I thought the music that we wrote was pretty good. We're not
Yeah.
entirely out for the count, but I do wish that they got that they got a little bit more recognition.
Yeah.
yeah, dude, you're super solid. So, okay. Now you've talked about the two that you think should have deserved a little bit more flowers. Let's talk
Yeah.
about Midnight Eyes. Talk
Okay.
to us about your current, what I'm assuming is a little bit of your passion project because it's just you, right?
Yeah, yeah, totally. So it's just me. So that started all. I mean, to be honest, I was unhappy in a band I was playing in at the time, and I wanted to do something more punk rock, more my style. And I told myself I'm gonna finance this drum machine with like all the money I had in the world. It was like $100 drum machine. But anyways, I finally paid it off. I got it, and shit, man, I wrote a demo, and it's just spawned into this like crazy obsession of mine, mixing in all genres of music into this weird thing that I have. So I label it like post punk, goth rock, because you can hear those things in there, but there's a lot of other influence. Um, and yeah, I'm so passionate about it. Every album kind of is a different mindset. Right now, I'm writing a full length that is called like The End of the Dark, right? and and I can't wait for it to come out. It's like the best thing. I think I'm very proud of it. So I really can't wait for it to come out. And then I'm releasing a single soon where I think Gabe Castillo from St. Peter is going to help me record it, and that should
Sick.
be cool, with a secret cover with some of my friends on it. So yeah,
Well, that's
Midnight
dope.
Eyes is I don't know, man. I can't describe it, but you know, you hear all the influences there. So for every album, I try to make a playlist because I just don't. I'm not influenced by just one thing. You know, I am influenced by a million things, so I try to put all that into that playlist. So if you check that out, you know, I'd love to know your thoughts. Or if you find a different band, you know, a new band from those playlists, I'd love to know who you checked out.
Is it
Sick.
hard to like keep your thoughts in? I mean, I know that you have a lot of influences and there's different sounds in it, but it's still, like you said, kind of pretty heavily like goth rock,
Yeah.
that kind of stuff. Is it hard though to like stay in that lane? Do you sometimes just want to like drop something completely random that's not like that, or do you have to like consciously be like, nope, I can't do that. We're staying
No,
with this, you know?
no, I do all the time, man. So, you know, I didn't mention that, you know, I play all the instruments and I sing in Midnight Eyes, right? Except for the drum machine. But yeah, sometimes I get bored about stuff and I want to try different things. For it to be a Midnight Eyes song, it has to hit like a certain feeling, you know, and really it's all in rhythm. It has to have like this cool, sexy bass line. Like that's the only catch. But I do try to do things differently. Like if you listen to my first two releases, they're a little bit more gritty punk rock. And then I changed it to like a darker Queens of the Stone Age style album. And then I went to like a more New Order Depeche Mode, which is my latest one, right? Come to Life.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you know, you can hear those influences in there and it's a little bit change in style because I just want to embrace it all, you know? I don't want to
So
be just in
Yeah.
one lane.
Yeah.
yeah,
I hear you. Cause I don't know that I could do that. Like
Uh-huh.
I don't know. That'd be too hard. So respect on that.
yeah,
Thanks.
and you gave us a
Thanks.
couple copies of Come to Life. Thank you for
Yeah.
that. I've actually
Yeah.
been listening to it quite a bit. It's
Oh, hell
really
yeah.
dope. I'll be honest. I know goth rock, post punk, very
Yeah.
surface level. Like what someone who says is like the post punk, goth rock, like bands who you would think they are. That's why I know. But I also like know it when I hear it, if that
Yeah.
makes sense. And so like what who are some of the bands outside of the Depeche Modes, AFIs, Black
Yeah.
Audios,
Yeah. Yeah.
things like that that are influence or kind of help create this style genre area?
Yeah, dude, there's so many. So like, but you know what I try doing is I try putting together like two influences in one. So like I always compare it to like U2 meets like The Damned, right? So The Damned has some like gothy rock career, but they're
Mhm.
also like a gritty punk rock band, right? So yeah, I do the Ramones meets like this band, The Chameleons. The Chameleons is like this atmospheric, like kind of rock band, very um very inspirational. You can hear their music in like a ton of bands. Like they influence so many people if you look up the Chameleons. But I always like want to mesh the Chameleons with the Ramones because the Ramones gritty punk rock band, but they also write love songs, right? And that's how I kind of try to yeah, stuff like that. What other bands do I like? Shoot, man, that's a tough one on the spot. Um, I love this band called The Mission, you know, which kind of sounds like Sisters of Mercy. Sisters of Mercy is
Okay.
another big influence, right? You know, stuff like that. But I will tell you, everything Midnight Eyes is just because I'm obsessed with The Cure. And I've been obsessed with The Cure my whole life. As well as Aerosmith and Kiss and all these other fucking rock
Yeah.
stars. But yeah, The Cure is probably like the biggest influence. And so the big thing in my head is I want to make like The Cure meets the Misfits, right? Because some of my
Sick. Yeah,
songs
yeah.
are comic book related and horror movie related, which is also another dorky thing that I love.
Listen, comic books is right up Kyle's alley.
Super
It
He'll
fun.
sit
is.
there and talk to you.
Man, yeah,
Horror
I
movies.
haven't in a long time, man. The last like series I think I got into, fuck, man, it's almost like 20 years. Was the what was that Green Lantern one where they're all coming back from the
Mm,
dead, the Blackest Night or whatever?
yeah.
And then I went down a rabbit hole of old stuff. I love Alan Moore, you know, Watchmen, V for Vendetta, but damn, like the
Hmm.
Swamp Thing 1 and 2 are so good, dude.
Yeah.
Um, fuck, I love the Sandman, the Crow. Those are all big influences on me and what I write in Midnight Eyes.
Huh.
Man, you're like
That's
deep cut style.
Yeah. You
yeah.
know, another band that I didn't mention that deserves to mention in that goth rock thing that's a big influence for me. There's a band called Shock Therapy from Detroit. I think they are like kind of like an electronic band. Think of a Nine Inch Nails meets
Mm.
I don't know, meets like a Poison Ideal, I guess, kind of with sad lyrics. It's intense. And then fuck, there's another band off the tip of my tongue. Well, I don't know. Shock Therapy is a good one. Good one. Oh, Killing Joke. Fuck, how could I forget? Killing Joke. Another cool band. Big influence on Midnight Eyes and rhythmically an obsession of mine.
Sick.
Yeah.
Never heard of either of them.
Yeah.
Yeah, check
I've
it
got to
out,
do
dude.
some
You're gonna
research
get a
into
little
that.
playlist right now.
I'm going to. We've got a good friend, Chris. He joins us often on here, and he's into post punk and a lot of this kind of stuff. So
Hell yeah.
I'm sure it's all right on his playlists.
Yeah, I think The Cure is his like all-time favorite band.
Yeah.
Oh, hell yeah.
And he has his own solo project that's like a what is it called? Like cyber grind?
Yeah.
That's
Yeah,
sick.
it's like it's I mean
Gotta
it
check
is
that
cool.
out.
He does great. He does great. I know nothing about it, right? So
It's like what's that called? 8-bit Nintendo sounds with
Oh, I
just
love that.
grindcore aggressive vocals.
Dude, that's sick.
yeah.
One time I saw a dude do an 8-bit band but with Game Boys, and he would do like Descendants covers. So
For
it was pretty
real?
sick. Yeah, dude, it was pretty rad. It was in a
Cool.
random it was in Lubbock, Texas, but it was a long time ago.
Man, that's just wild. That's so cool though. Like
Yeah,
You
how
guys are
people are it go ahead, Kyle.
I was just gonna say they're so creative. Like I'm just an idiot,
That's what I was
you
gonna
know.
say.
And I appreciate that there's people that like are actually creative.
man, I
you
wish I
know,
was on that wavelength, you know? I'm a talker, but man, I can't do an 8-bit thing. No way.
Don't say
I can't do it.
that. Your stuff is sick, and you're playing with all these bands. You're super creative.
Yeah,
Don't say that.
Oh, well, maybe I'll
yeah.
try it. Watch me
Do
come
it.
up with an 8-bit band. Be like, hey guys, here's my 8-bit project. Check it out.
Super dope.
So you brought up like horror movies.
Yeah.
I'm not a horror movie fan. Are you like a big horror movie fan then?
Dude, I am. You know, I get made fun of a lot because I love like Universal monsters, but but I also love like 80s slasher movies and stuff like
Okay.
that. I will say I'm not in because there's some people who are like so passionate about horror movies. They know every fucking flick. They know everything that's coming out. They got every T-shirt and pop figure and all this stuff. Okay, cool, whatever. I'm not that far into it, but I do love
Do
some
you
grit and some
like
gore.
have you seen some of the new ones? Like what's one of the best ones you've seen in the last little bit? Because like I said, I don't watch them.
Dang,
Really.
man. You know, I'm drawing a blank on that. I'll have to get back to you. But my lady, she's a movie buff, and she makes me watch all these crazy horror movies. It's fun.
Huh. Like I'm with
Super
Kyle. I'm not a
exciting.
big horror guy. Like I like Universal monsters. All that stuff super dope. If you go back to
Yeah,
like the early films, the black and white stuff, that's all way cool.
love it.
Took a film history class, that's great. But you talk about like the Terrifier, like that's what
Oh
I
yeah,
think
that's
about when you
fun.
think of like modern. I'm just like buckets of blood just doesn't do it for me.
You know what I will say? A lie. The 28 years later, we watched that recently, like two, three
Ah,
weeks ago. You know, some of my friends hated on it, but I thought it was great. I thought it was a great conclusion, and I don't know if you saw the movie, I love the ending. So can't wait for the next one.
I will actually watch that one because that's more of like a psychological thriller type of thing,
Yeah,
right? It's not
totally.
just like straight gore horror,
No, no, not
right?
at
Yeah,
all. Like
yeah.
this one
yeah.
has a little dark piece into it, and yeah, they'll shake your shit up.
Okay, I'll
I
message
don't
you.
know if
I'll
it.
watch
I
that
don't know if
one.
it's like trauma from growing up and playing like Silent Hill as a kid when
Oh,
I
dude,
like
that'll fuck you
absolutely
up,
should not have
man.
been playing Silent Hill. I was like, I'm okay, you know. But yeah, I've heard like good things about Sinners. I don't know
Yeah.
if that's actually like a
Ooh.
horror movie. I don't know. I guess what do you classify as like horror? You know? Oh.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I
No,
guess
I
they
put like
self-classify.
what you just said, like Sinners and stuff like that. A lot of that's like psychological, like thriller. I guess it would be like a horror subgenre kind of thing. But like
Hmm.
when you say horror, I think of like Terrifier or
Yeah.
it.
Like
You know what I mean?
Hereditary
Like
and
yeah,
Oh yeah.
like those over the top ones. But It's funny you mentioned Silent Hill and stuff. I have a vivid memory of when I was like 7 years old. I've got an uncle who's only like 10 years older than me, maybe 12 years older than me, kind of thing. And I went down in my grandma's basement and he was playing the first Resident Evil. And
Mm.
he's like, Trevor, turn away. And I remember sitting there with my fingers on my eyes and peeking through my fingers, and a zombie fell off the ceiling and it flashed up. I screamed and I ran upstairs crying.
Dude,
But
that
like, I vividly remember that.
dude, that game was so scary. But you know, I always like the guy, the first zombie that you see in like that fucking dining room or whatever. Like, you know, and then they slow
Yeah.
mo to like him turning around, you know, and then he comes after you, whatever. That first scare is just so good.
Yeah.
Love
Oh,
it.
those games. They're
Yeah,
intense.
so fun. So fun. Yeah, I didn't play too much. I mean, man, I was no good at video games. Like I don't play video games now, but shit, Resident Evil and stuff, that was my shit. Like I love that.
Those are good. Yeah. I'm actually replaying through The Last of Us right now, which is kind of in the same vein, the
Man, that show
zombie
was so
stuff.
good.
So
I didn't know it was a game.
yeah. The game came out, I want to say
Oh,
like
wait,
10 years ago or something. It's been out for a while and it
yeah.
won like all these awards, like best game. People will mark it down as like one of the best games ever made. And it's so good because it's not like it's a zombie game, but it's about kind of the human psyche when you have to go through this. Like it really exposes people. And I think that's why I haven't seen the TV show because I played the game. So I was like, nah,
Oh, right.
whatever. I don't know. Does it explain that in the TV? Do you get that feeling in the TV show too when you watch it?
Oh, dude, the TV show is pretty fun. Actually, this last season was kind of lame, but the
Okay.
That's
first
what
one
I
was good.
heard. I didn't watch it.
Yeah, I lost my attention quick. You know, usually if I don't care, I bust out a guitar and I just zone out of it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So like
So
you brought up a lot of like art. Is there like other forms of art that you're like really interested in? Are you
Um,
big into like paintings and or photography or I don't know, any other types of art?
yeah, photography, I'm really definitely into. You know, I aspire to be a photographer, but I suck. I have a camera and all that good stuff, but you know, I don't have the patience for all that shit, but I love it. I have some coffee table books of architecture and things like that. I
Cool.
love old buildings. So my business is real estate, right? But I love like
Mm.
historic homes and just cool architecture and cool retro designs from the 50s and 60s. So those things I'm obsessed with. Paintings as well. There's certain pieces of art that I've been blessed to see, like the big old painting in Ferris Bueller's Day Off and stuff
Mm.
like that.
oh sick.
I don't know a lot of artists. Painting's like the
Sure.
least medium that I'm interested in.
So down in San Antonio, going to
Yeah,
real estate now, like 50s and 60s, like up here you'll find some like current like modern style, like those type of architectures and stuff that were
yeah.
done in the 50s and 60s. What do you have down in San Antonio? Is it just a lot of ranch houses or like what kind of stuff is down there?
Man, I have all sorts of different types of real estate. So I do have ranch style homes that are well kept. You know, man, I have like luxury homes from that have been well kept in different parts of town, um, and then fully rehabbed homes where they, you know, use some of the same materials or same style. You know, they just revamp them with new paint or new floors. So it's all over the place. I've run into some such cool homes. Even like newer design stuff. I've gone out into the hill country to go see some custom homes from some clients who are builders, and damn, they do some cool shit.
A lot of the new stuff is awesome. I've seen a lot of the like Texas modern stuff because Kyle and I share social medias.
Yeah,
I
Mm.
get a lot of like Texas style stuff happening and everything. And so like a lot of the stuff is way dope down there. I was just curious about kind of like what the like 50, 60 vibes was kind of down in the San Antonio because up here in
yeah,
like Salt Lake, you have like a historic section where you have some like really old homes. But like I said, you had some like what would be considered modern architecture at that time. And I love that style. Like the 50s, 60s modern is like awesome.
yeah, totally. And you know we have that here too. There's historical districts where they have like special homes, and they're special designations that they can only be like handled a certain way when they come into the real estate market. But I'm a sucker for that because it's historic. It's a diamond. They don't make them like that anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
it's
feel like
weird.
this is we talk about this a lot in the music scene. The a lot of the artistic part of it has kind of you know, fallen away. I think there's some bands that are trying to bring stuff like that back, but you see it everywhere. Like you see all these home neighborhoods pop up that's like cookie cutter carbon copy, and it's like what
Yeah.
Like they're
happened to like the
beautiful.
creativity and yeah, they're beautiful, but it's
They're
like what
beautiful and
happened
the
to the
designs are cool, but they do like 50 of them.
yeah.
And so
Yeah,
like it loses a little bit of that uniqueness to it.
Mm-hmm. I miss
totally.
the art in life, you know.
The art and life, yeah, that's a great way of putting it because they build homes now for functionality for the modern family. The modern family is always on the go and they don't spend a lot of time with each other, but they spend a lot of time indoors. Um, I don't know. I liked older neighborhood. I'm a sucker for like old neighborhoods, big wide streets. I like it when families hang out outside and are able to do that shit.
Mm.
Because it reminds me of like I hate to sound like an old fogey, but there are still neighborhoods like that. There are still
Yeah,
neighborhoods like that I see here in San Antonio. Where families go and hang out, and that they're well established and that the neighborhood is an actual community. They take care of each other. That's it's a beautiful thing.
yeah,
Yeah. I mean, I just like Kyle saying, I think a lot of like individualism is starting to like die away, but a lot of it's starting to come back. I think that we lost
Oh
it
yeah, the
for
music stuff.
not the
Yeah.
loss. Yeah. Well, in all aspects of art, like art in general, I feel like went through a little bit of a lull, whether that's architecture, whether that's music,
Mhm.
whatever it is. I mean, don't give me another beatdown band, guys. Like we have too many of those. One pops up every
Yeah,
single
yeah,
week. You know what I mean? Give me something else. And like, if all of a sudden a bunch of bands are playing the same style in your scene, play a different style, right? Like, do something else.
like
But
don't use AI. Paint your own, like make your own artwork for an album
yeah.
cover. You know what I mean?
Totally, totally. I mean, with that
Yeah.
too, everything when it's hardcore related is all like artistic within itself, like dancing styles and
Yeah.
things like that. That's all like an art form within itself. Something I get a kick out of when I'm a performer. When I see the crowd going crazy and all the individual styles, that's also an art medium that is in hardcore. That I don't know if people see that as an art medium, but it is a cool thing.
oh, it is. It is. So let me ask
It's
you,
my
being a performer
justification
up on
for it.
stage, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
I I didn't hit you. I was just
Yeah,
expressing myself.
I was expressing art. That's why I hammer
Yeah,
fisted
yeah,
Self-expression.
you
yeah.
two
Yeah.
rows in the
It's
back. You
controlled
know?
chaos, and that's the beautiful thing about it.
Yeah. No, for sure, absolutely.
So, as a performer, have
Mhm.
you seen a change since like you started playing in like 2003 to today in terms of that? Because I feel like when we were growing up, everyone watched similar, but you also had a little bit of variety. I feel like the current pool, it looks kind of the same. Like it's kind of interesting.
Yeah, yeah. Some places. I'll tell you, the last Die Young run we did, we played in Alabama, like the last show, and man, those kids all individually had crazy style. It was wild
Sick.
to see a show like that, because you don't normally see that. Everybody kind of does the same dance moves and the same stuff. What I like to see as a performer, I like circle pits. Play fast music
Mhm.
for a reason. Fucking run in a circle. It's like the easiest mosh move ever. Anybody
Yeah,
can do it. You don't gotta fight each other. Just run in a circle, with your friends. That's like the best one. As a performer, I love that shit. But
yeah.
sometimes I just love people having a good time.
Listen,
That's
I
that's and that's the answer, right? Because it's
Yeah.
like there's nothing worse than just seeing crowds not doing anything. You know?
Yeah. Or
100%.
crowd who's just like extremely violent for no reason. Like, hey
Yeah.
man.
And I'm like, listen, I probably look stupid at this point moshing, right? I'm 30. I'm in my 30s. I have no business moshing, but every now and again I'll come out for one, maybe two songs. But I also tore something in my left shoulder, so it's one hand only. It's right hand only. So I just
Dude,
look like an idiot probably, but
the humblings of
self-expression.
turning older, of being an older hardcore kid. Oh man,
Right?
I
You're
so
like,
much shit,
I'm gonna swing with my left arm. Nope, it's toward rotator cuff. So
Dude, I like
dude.
all these guys in my work make fun of me because I complain about like hurting, and they're like, "You're young. You're like in your 30s." I was like, "Yeah, but I've got like a lot of miles on my knees. I've done
Yeah,
some
you've been
real dumb
hardcore.
stuff. Yeah, like I've moshed way too much. I've jumped off stages. Like I've got a lot of miles on these knees, you know. So
Who's the last band y'all moshed for?
you guys playing Die Young?
Fuck yeah, that's good.
I moshed on Friday for Combust for a
Hell
song.
yeah. Oh, dude, I was watching y'all's videos about that. That was sick.
Oh, dude, Combust is so sick.
Yeah,
Like
So
one of
I'll
the better New York bands to come out right now.
yeah, they're
dude,
cool
it's so
guys. I'll probably mosh to Judiciary tomorrow.
cool.
And then I will mosh for Realms of Death if that's the
Yeah,
crowd that shows up for Realms of Death. So if it's
yeah,
like a pretty metal crowd or whatever, and there's not a lot of moshing, like I'll just hang in the back. But
yeah,
I'll throw down a little bit for Realms if that's how
cool.
it is. So
Well, hell yeah,
what
dude.
about you? What's the last
Uh,
band you moshed to?
Will to Live. Like last year, I fucking ate my shit. I slipped on the floor. Like I thought there was a banana peel on the floor. How hard I fell on my ass. God damn. It
Like
was
down in
bad.
Houston, playing that,
Huh?
or down in San Antonio, or where?
Yeah, in San Antonio. Was it last year? Yeah, I think it was last summer. I was
That's
feeling
sick,
too
dude.
good, and something about those Will to Live songs, man, hurt you. They hit you a certain way where you're just like, man, I can totally run in a circle and throw my arms around and not hurt that. Wrong.
It's
Yeah,
all
that's the last
good.
one. Yeah, I swore
Cool.
that was the last band. The band before that was Sick of It All, and kind of the same thing. I slipped and I fractured my foot. So
Oh, geez.
yeah,
I dislocated and broke my finger to Comeback Kid. Actually, it was to Desmadre that was opening for him.
fuck, man.
First band. It was the first band, second song in of the first band. My pinky was like an L and I had to pop it back in. So yeah,
Dang.
it's still not normal.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's
Dang.
moments like that, right? You break your foot, you break a finger, you're just like, dude, I gotta stop.
Yeah, man, I am mortal in this
Yeah.
Neverland, where nobody gets old. Yeah.
Yeah.
So what do you
Well,
have
look,
coming up?
Man, what do I have coming up? Well, shoot, I might have a secret set next week. Next week is that Bitter End Climate of Fear show. So
Yeah.
you're gonna have to be in San Antonio for that one. But then after that, I'm doing another run with Die Young in September. So we're gonna hit a couple Texas dates. I'm stoked for that. And then I play in a punk band called the Red Alert. So we are going to release a EP that I'm very proud of. It's a very artsy fartsy punk album, so it's great. And then I got a bunch of Midnight Eyes stuff coming up towards the end of the year. I booked myself on a small tour with another band. We're gonna do like Laredo and McAllen. And then
cool.
January I got some other stuff brewing in the pot. And I'm hoping I get invited out again by one of my badass music friends that I'm affiliated with.
Sick.
Yeah.
Super dope.
Yeah,
Well,
keep us updated on all that
yeah.
stuff, because if there's ways that we can help support, or shoot, if with any of this stuff roll through
Yeah.
Dallas, I will come out for sure.
Oh, hell yeah. I appreciate that so much. Yeah, I mean, man, thank you guys so much. It was such a thrill getting to meet you guys there at that Die Young show. Again, being such a fan of the podcast, really cool. And then even cooler, that you're going to check out my boys, Realms of Death. So that's fun.
Yeah, absolutely.
Appreciate you, my man.
We always like to give, if there's other bands or whatever that you want to shout out. I know you've already said like a big list, but if there's anyone else that you wanted to
Yeah, dude, I'm just
shout
gonna
out
shout out
around.
my boys again. So Realms of Death, Bullshit Detector, Liberty and Justice, Die Young, Will to Live. There's so many bands, and so many people doing cool shit. Nemesis, fuck. Who else? I don't know. I can't name them all, man.
Too many,
There's
just
so
too many
many,
good
so
stuff.
many.
Too much
There's
good
so many
stuff going on in
homies.
Texas.
With all sincerity, they're coming back. They're fucking killing it
Mm.
at all these like local shows. Have y'all checked them out yet? I don't know if they played any of your areas, but with all sincerity, old school San Antonio hardcore band coming back.
I don't think they've played up here, but we'll check them out if they do. So
Yeah, hell yeah. But no, that's all I got, and thank you guys for your time.
cool. No, thank you,
No,
man.
thank you.
Seriously,
Yeah,
appreciate it.
yeah,
So
Cool.
absolutely. Well, shoot, I'll see you guys in one form or another soon.
Yes, sir.
For
We'll
sure, man.
chat soon, man.
Thanks.
All right, y'all take care.